Hey randos, if you watched my last video, you know I'm getting ready to sell the Rebel and I need to do a few things to it. So if you remember, did I bring the key with me? I didn't bring the key with me. Let me go grab the key. But if you remember, coming back from the Weirdos Assemble Land Between the Lakes campout and my visit to TMMR, my battery's dead, or my starter's not working. It's one of the two. So I'm gonna take the battery out and replace it with a new one, and that will tell me if it's maybe the starter or the battery. I'm also gonna take the battery to get checked to see if it will hold a charge. And if it does, then I will also know whether it's the starter or the stator. Because if it won't hold a charge, it's the battery. If it will charge but wasn't, then it's something different. But we put the key in. We can hear the fuel pump kick on. We can see the cluster comes on. Kill switch is on. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. So, turn it off. Kill switch is open, so it shouldn't turn on even if the key's in and you hit the ignition. But to get to the battery, we're gonna have to clip off my throwover bag, so that's fine. There's just a zip tie down there. We're gonna have to take the seat off because the battery's right here. And then after that, we're also gonna put the original seat that I got on because we're gonna sell that seat. We're gonna sell a lot off the bike. Any two wheels has told me that he wants to buy the crash guards, the passenger pegs, the sissy bar, and the GP Shorty exhaust off of this. We already agreed on a price, so I'm gonna get those off and cleaned up and ready to go to him. Even if I don't sell the bike immediately, I'll make the money from that, which will help get the next bike. So let's go ahead and get started. So all you're gonna see me do here because of the way I have these attached, just come down here with a pair of wire cutters and we snip the zip ties off. Now, I'm only gonna do it to one side because these aren't hard bags. And I'll let them hang. And to get the Corbin seat off of this, all we need to do is take off this one 6mm head hex key bolt. And then here, it just lifts right off. Now, I looked up a couple videos, and to get the battery out, I gotta get this piece of plastic off. And to do that, I need to push this in. There's another one down back behind this, it's the same, it's just pushed through. I need to unclip this, I need to unclip this, and then I need to loosen the battery terminals. So first things first, let's get this out from under that clip and out of the way a little bit. And then how do I get you? All right, I grabbed the manual, I did a quick thing. I don't know how well you can see it, but this little tab here at the bottom, you need to pull up on that, good, and then you need to slide it this way to, there we go, release it off that little thing. So now that's free. And then next, according to that, it connects here, I think. So these look like these just slide off. Or should just slide right off. Yep. Alright, that gives us a lot of room to get down in there. Where are you? Yeah, pull all of this out of the way somewhat. Sad thing is now the camera's kind of in my way. It looks like this is the tab here. So if I press down on that top part, so if I press down this top part and pull this way, down. All right, so the trick for this one is the thing is literally right, it's directly underneath, and you can't really get to it without a screwdriver, so there we go. So you can see it right here, right here. You need to hit that part. The only way you're going to get that is getting underneath with a screwdriver. But now, disconnect, disconnect, disconnect. The only things that should be left to do are the push button releases. And then to loosen, that's too big, the negative terminal. Now if I did this right, I just got to press down on these two frontward tabs and kind of slide back a little bit. And then the battery cover should come right out. Got to slip that through. Oh, that didn't sound good. Nope. One of the push things fell through. That's great. We're going to take the side cover off here as well, because that's going to help us get to the positive terminal. But now I need to find out what happened. I see it, and I kind of probably can't get to it without taking out the battery. So, positive terminal, try not. So from here, I ought to just be able to grab the battery and pull it out. Okay, there we got the positive disconnected in its entirety. Negative out of the way, and I should be able to just, there we go. I will say it was much easier getting to the Vulcan battery and getting the Vulcan battery out when I had that thing. It's the issue with the small bike, I can't, oh, there we go. I just gotta really, oh Jesus. All right. Got the battery out, and now I know that plastic clip that I dropped was right here. Right here. I know you can't see because my arm's in the way. And I can't get the goddamn thing because I can't see what I'm doing. That's fine. I can use the tape to stick to it and get it. Just like that. Alright, randos, we are on our way to the power store. We're gonna pick up a battery from Honda, and hopefully they have one already charged, because if I have to charge it, then I'm gonna have to also get a charger from them. I don't want to do that. We got, oh man, that's heavy. We got the battery. Dude, I asked him, he said it's already charged, it's ready to go, don't need to mess with acid, don't need to throw it on a charger or anything. It's just put it in the bike and ready to go. And surprisingly, it only cost $85.66. I gotta admit, I'm really surprised by that, because I have in fact bought a battery back when I had the Vulcan for, I think it was like 110 times. When I get back, we're gonna plug it in and make sure the bike rolls. And then I'm gonna take off some of the other parts that I'm not gonna be using, and all right, so we got the battery, and the guy at the shop said that it is just ready to go. So, first thing is, oh gross, they taped it on there. Positive toward the left side of the bike, negative toward the right. Why are you not going in your hole? Just go in your hole. There you go. First things, let's get the positive terminal connected, because we got to do the inverse. Now, I took that side panel off so I could get my fingers in there and manipulate the terminal a little bit better. This is where things are a little fun, because this loop here, the negative terminal has to slide through. So I need all of this out of the way so that I can slide this underneath and get the negative terminal inside there. Now I just gotta maneuver everything back into place. Ah, there we go. That one was a little trickier to do. The terminal slotted over. Just tight enough to make sure everything is good. Now we're just gonna hook everything back into place here and tuck everything back where it goes. So this and all of these wires were tucked back, down, and behind all of this. There we go. Lord almighty, that was far harder than it needed to be. Now this comes over. Lord almighty, that's such a tight fit. And this one. And then you go back down, slide in, you and all of that goes back down, fits like that. There we go. So all of that is hooked back in. heart attack. Heart attack averted. Oh, now let's get the side panel back on. Let's get the old seat back on because the Corbin is getting sold. And then I'm gonna call it good for today. And then tomorrow we'll come back out and start taking off extra pieces that are gonna also get sold separately. So wait for that. All right, randos, it's the next day. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the sissy bar off. This one, because that's the one that Brian or Any Two Wheels said he wanted. And we're gonna take the old one that I originally got that I hated and put that one on. Because I want this thing to sell, so the more accessories that are on it, the more likely it is to go. We're gonna leave the saddlebag stays on it because Brian never said he wanted those. He said he wanted this, the passenger pegs, the exhaust, and the crash guards. And these are also coming off, but they're trashed. So we're gonna get to that. I guess first we'll take these off because that'll be a little easier. That's not the way we want to go. Trash. Now, the only thing that's left to take these off, we're going to take out these little Allen heads. Don't remember off the top of my head what size they are. 4 millimeters. So that was a lucky guess right off the get-go. We are going to take these off. These should be, yep, these are also 6 millimeter head hex bolts. We're not going to take both out at once. We're going to take the front ones out, roll this back. Whoopsie. And hopefully these aren't too long for that one. And I should just be able to roll that back, roll these down. Now if I come over and grab this, just keep it a fuel battery. Now I should be able to get these lined up, and not tight, but at least in. So we got those in just enough to hold everything in place. Now we're gonna take the back ones out, take the sissy bar off, drop this back so the rear ones line up, and get those all in. And then what we're gonna do is go to the store because these are lock nuts with nylon, and that's come apart on me before. So I'm gonna go and be nice and go get some new lock nuts. Some new nylon lock nuts. This sissy bar was a really tight fit when I first put it on, so I gotta kind of pull it apart and pull it on and off. Whew. Helps if you turn the ratchet the correct way. Alright, now this is what I was afraid of, is these won't tighten enough. Because they're too long. So I'm gonna have to go to the store and get shorter ones. All right, so what I need to do is get a shorter one of both of these bolts. I need to get 4 shorter ones of these, because these are what holds the rear fender to the subframe and all of that. And then I don't need a bolt, but I do need 4 new nylon lock nuts that will fit these bolts, because that is what's keeping the sissy bar on that together with the luggage rack. All right, we went into just the local Home Depot because it's the closest hardware place to me, and this is what we got. M8-1.25 by 30 millimeter. But basically that is the size bolt that if you are doing work on your Honda and replacing those bolts, most bolts on the Rebel are that M8 1.25. I also got the lock nuts for the silver bolts that are holding the sissy bar together, which are also M8 1.25. So that's good to know. We're back at the house. Here's what I had in it. Here's what we're putting in it. I know it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of different in length, but it's enough that it'll tighten up without hitting the border on the other end. Now, if I had Loctite, I would put Loctite on these, but I'm not super worried because it's a Honda. It doesn't shake like a Harley does, unless you're, well, this doesn't shake like a Harley does unless you're hitting 95 plus miles an hour. But that's basically what we're gonna do on all the sides. We're gonna take the old bolts out. We're gonna use the same washers because there's no reason not to. And then put the new bolts in. The old bolts are just get thrown away because I'm not gonna have any use for them. So I'm just gonna get all the nuts started before I really tighten them down. So now the last thing to do is to undo the bolts on the highway guard, or not the highway guard, on the crash guard. Lord almighty, all fumbles today. Get the crash guards off, and then basically clean her up and she'll be good to sell and good to go. I'm gonna miss this bike when it does sell. All right, randos, it is now day 3 of tearing down the Rebel and getting the parts off it that somebody's buying. We've got the passenger peg set up. We've got the shorty exhaust. We got the crash guards. And the Custom-A sissy. And when we come back to the Rebel, we can see the crash guards are gone. Put the bolts back in. I put the rubber inserts back into the foot pegs because I hated them, but whoever's buying this might like it. We put the stock exhaust back on, so we already know it's gonna sound like trash. We've got the old Zeed online parts knockoff gunfighter back on. We got the Amazon special sissy bar, which I replaced all of this hardware and really cranked it down, so that ain't going nowhere. And that's basically it. Now I know Rainey and them said not to take the the Guardian bell off of the bike when you sell it, but now I want to take it on a quick rip around the block just to ensure that everything is okay.
Welcome to my party, we're just getting started. A life is a dream or a nightmare scarring. Hand me a drink cause I think I'm going all in. Get me a
just about getting it ready to sell. Last thing is washing it, cleaning the chain. You guys know how to clean a chain. I'm probably the only one who doesn't. You all know how to wash a bike. I know how to wash a bike. All right, so that's it for this. I just wanted to get it stripped down, put the old parts I didn't like on it because I'm selling it. Like I said, Any Two Wheels has already told me he wants to buy all of this. We've agreed on a price. I think it's fair for both of us. But that's it. There's nothing else to this other than I'm gonna give the bike a really good thorough wash. I'm gonna give the chain a good clean, and then she's getting listed for sale. But thank you for coming and watching. I appreciate and love you all, and I can't wait to see everyone in the next one.